Hi everyone. Welcome to Daily Recaps. Today, I am going to explain an interesting drama film called Unleashed. Hope you like it. Enjoy the video and take care. In start of the movie, we are introduced to a man named Bart, and his way of collecting money from the debtors is quite different and ruthless. He has been training a man named called Danny as a dog for his whole life. Danny has been kept in a cage, fed dog food, and taught to comply ever since he was a young child. As he only knows how to speak and behave in accordance with what he has been taught, he has the mental capacity of a child. Danny always wears a unique dog collar around his neck. While wearing it, he is harmless, but as soon as it is removed, he transforms into an aggressive dog running loose and kills anyone who bothers his owner. Bart is merciless to Danny. He frequently beats and insults him. But since Danny doesn't know any better, he thinks the abuse is a form of affection. One day, after a long day of beating people up for money, Bart brings Danny home. A man notices that his forehead is bleeding and hands him a bandage. But Danny is so naive that he doesn't understand the purpose of it. He simply goes back to his cage and starts punching a bag. He also has a first grader's book that he uses to entertain himself. He learns a few new words and shows great interest in learning. The following day, they continue the routine of threatening the debtors. One of their targets is a wealthy businessman who owes Bart a lot of money. He is not like the typical people they deal with because he knows about the collar trick. To prevent Bart from triggering Danny, they pull Bart away before he can take the collar off. They beat him up while Danny watches in confusion, unsure what he should do. Bart tries and finally succeeds in removing his collar. When this happens, Danny unleashes his inner beast, and he quickly defeats his adversaries. His unusual fighting skill doesn't go unnoticed by a man standing nearby. His name is Wyeth, and he is the organizer of an underground fight match. When he looks at Danny, he sees an opportunity to earn a lot of money. After the debtor is beaten half to death, Bart gets his money and comes outside. Although Danny saved his life, the man is furious that he didn't save him when he was getting beaten. He calls Danny an unworthy animal, overlooking the fact that he is the reason behind Danny's behavior. For the last destination of the day, they stop at an antique warehouse. Bart asks Danny to remain in the warehouse and keep a close eye on an alarm so that the previous trick won't be pulled again. He is asked to enter and assist Danny and his goons when it turns red. A piano can be seen in one of the room's corners as Danny waits. He is intrigued by it because he recalls seeing it in the book. The blind pianist enters the room, and he presses a few keys. Sam is in charge of tuning the piano, and he is here. Sam assists Danny when he notices his interest in playing it. Since Danny has never in his life received kindness, it is a strange experience for him. Throughout the interaction, Danny doesn't say anything, but Sam doesn't seem to care. To help him focus, he asks Danny to listen to the ticking sound of the clock. This reminds him of the alarm that his master had told him to watch. Danny sees that it is lit and rushes inside to find Bart on the floor, completely beaten. He and his henchmen have managed to defeat the enemies, but are severely hurt in the process. They return to their base and yell at Danny, calling him different names and kicking him into his cage. Then, Wyeth comes to meet Bart and offers a business idea. He wants Danny to fight in the next underground battle against the current champion. Since the battle is a death match that only ends when a person dies, the money is immense. If Danny is able to beat the current champion, Bart will earn a fortune. So, he doesn't waste a second before accepting the deal. The following day, Danny is taken to the ring. The opponent has been in the game for 3 years and has never been defeated. Everyone bets on him, confident about his skills. But when the match starts, Danny lands 3 strong punches to his neck and kills him in less than a minute. Wyeth is overjoyed to have found such a gem. He hands Bart his share of the money, promising to send more later. On their way back to the hideout, the gangster is in a good mood. He urges Danny to ask for anything he wants. Danny mumbles piano, but Bart doesn't understand why a dog would need a musical instrument. Their car is abruptly struck by a truck. Bart is going to be killed by the wealthy businessman who was beaten up yesterday. They keep firing at the car until they finally hit the gangster. Danny, however, only took 1 bullet to the body and is still alive. He can only go to the antique warehouse now that his master is gone. Sam is there, and she recognizes him from his footsteps. Danny loses consciousness before he can call for assistance. When he wakes up, he is on the fluffiest surface he has ever been. He takes a second before realizing that he is in a foreign room. It turns out Sam brought him to his house and has been taking care of him. Danny has been out for 2 days straight, so Sam is happy to finally have him back. He is still unused to being treated with kindness, and the new atmosphere makes him nervous. Sam's stepdaughter Victoria arrives at the house, and a scared Danny hides under the bed. She realizes that he is special and brings a keyboard under the bed, asking him to use it since he likes the piano. At dinner, the family waits for Danny to join them. He comes outside clutching the keyboard to himself. Because he has never had food in front of people, he starts devouring it like he usually does. Victoria stops him and teaches him how to eat properly without making a mess. Danny's eccentric behavior makes the family laugh, making him feel a certain type of way that he has never felt. Later, Sam tries taking his collar off, which startles Danny. He refuses to let anyone touch it, so Sam doesn't force him. The following morning, Sam and Danny drop Victoria at her college. Before separating, she kisses Danny on the cheek, making him fluster. He had read about a kiss in his first grader book and is happy to have experienced it in real life. Sam notices this and smiles to himself. He also notes that Danny has experienced a difficult life event that has impacted his mental capacity. Sam takes him to a grocery store and asks him to talk to the cashier in order to help him develop his social skills. Danny watches Sam interact with people while feeling uneasy. He is asked to pick up Victoria from college later on that day. He approaches her apprehensively, and they go get ice cream together. Victoria can't sleep at night, so he wakes Danny up and demonstrates the fundamental piano keys to him. From his bedroom, Sam hears them and beams that Danny is finally talking to them. In a short time, he becomes an inseparable part of their lives. One day, Danny and Sam are at the grocery store when some thugs start a fight with each other. Sam and the entire audience are scared, but Danny continues judging the vegetables as if nothing is happening behind him. Later, Sam finds him and asks him how he was calm in a situation like that. Danny simply replies that they weren't fighting him, so he shouldn't interfere. Sam is intrigued by the answer and inquires about Danny's past. He finds out that Danny's innocence was used to make him violent and sympathizes with him. For the next few weeks, they live as a happy family. Danny finally allows Victoria to take off his collar and is calm without it as well. Then one day, Sam takes him to work to fix a piano. While working on the instrument, he reveals that he and Victoria are moving back to New York after she graduates. Danny is heartbroken because that would mean he will be left without a family again. But Sam clarifies that they are taking him as well since he is a part of the family now. After work, Danny is given half of the money because he helped Sam. He excitedly goes to the store to buy a gift for everyone. But as he leaves, he runs into a former employee of Bart. He reveals that Bart is still alive and that, because Danny is his source of income, he is searching for him everywhere. In order to find out who his parents are, Danny agrees to attend. In the next scene, Danny runs into Bart and asks him about his mother. Bart responds that he never bothered to look for Danny's parents and just happened to find him by the side of the road. After that, Danny is taken yet another death match. His boss makes him wear the collar and then takes it off, only to find out that the trick doesn't work anymore. When Danny refuses to kill anyone, he is pushed into the battle ring with a dangerous opponent. He proceeds to hit Danny, but he doesn't retaliate. To make the match interesting, more fighters are put into the ring, but even upon being abused brutally, Danny doesn't fight back. All of a sudden, after a man steps on his hand, something in Danny's brain clicks. He turns into his former self and doesn't take much time before defeating the opponents. Danny is beaten and placed back into his cage at the end of the day. Victoria and Sam are concerned about him elsewhere, but they are unsure of where to look for him. Danny escapes the cage when no one is looking and discovers a number of images on Bart's computer. He recognizes himself in a photo of himself and his mother hunched over the piano. He assaults Bart and inquires about his mother one final time. She was an adult employee who served as his escort on numerous occasions, the man reveals. She even brought little Danny to work and had no regard for boundaries. But Bart fell in love with her, so when she died of a disease, he took Danny in and made him his family. The following day, they are driving to work when Danny hears the word family, which reminds him of Sam and Victoria. He swerves the car, causing it to crash and taking the opportunity to run away. Following that, he returns to his real family, who are over the moon to finally see him. Upon finding out the story about his mother, they feel bad for him. Victoria describes the background of the picture, and Sam recognizes it as an auditorium that he has been to. To find out more about Danny's mother, they go to the auditorium. The staff there recognize her but claim that she disappeared with her son one day and never returned. Victoria finds a music note in the picture's background and uses it to play the piano. The tune is the one that Danny's mother used to play when he was little. This brings back the memories he had suppressed over the years. A flashback shows us that his mother was a musician with no money. Hence, she took a loan from Bart in exchange for her body. Until one day Bart learned about him, she consistently kept Danny away from the company. She was murdered and Danny was taken hostage when she resisted letting him see the child. Danny learns how dangerous Bart is after regaining his memories. He forces Victoria and Sam to attempt to quickly pack their bags and leave the city. However, before they can depart, Bart and a sizable group of his men show up at Sam's apartment complex. Danny hides Sam and Victoria in their closet for their safety before running out to distract the thugs. He faces off against a man named the Stranger. He is an attacker hired by Bart with a skill level similar to his own. They get into an intense fight which ends when the Stranger falls off the window while Danny does his best to save him. In the end, Bart pursues Danny and finds out which apartment he used to live in. He threatens to kill Sam and Veronica if he doesn't come outside. Danny has to reluctantly give up to save his loved ones. But when he gets close enough to Bart, he attacks him and furiously beats him. Sam and Victoria burst out of the closet to stop him, knowing that he isn't a killer. When everything calms down, the three embrace each other. At the same time, the police arrive and arrest Bart for the plethora of all crimes he has committed. In last scene of the movie, Danny and Sam attend a piano recital where Victoria is performing. She says the piece is dedicated to a special person and performs the song that Danny's mother played years ago. Danny is in awe of her as he sheds a joyful tear. That's all from the film. Thanks for watching. If you really want more interesting videos like this, then hit like and subscribe to support the daily recaps. See you again. Take care.